This is the Historic District Commission Town of Fairfield special meeting. Today is April 24th, 2025. The notice of the hearing was published on the HDC website. Let's go ahead and take attendance. Darren Raymond Locke.
Present.
Maura Garrick.
Present.
Art Gravanis.
Present.
Jim Bohan.
Here, Rosina.
And I'm Rosina Negron. Absent at this moment is Jim Akmondo, George Clark, and Greg Valente. The item in the agenda for today is a pre-application. Greg Valente is here at the meeting at this moment. We're here today for a pre-application discussion for a property located at 554 Tonsas Hill Road in Fairfield, Connecticut. And I'm gonna give the floor to Carla Miklos. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
So hi, everyone. So I think you know that I'm the Executive Director of Operation Hope and that we are in the process of purchasing 554 Tonsas Hill Road, which is the former St. Michael's Church property. So it's actually on Ridgely, but its address is Tonsas Hill Road. And the purpose for purchasing it is that we are negotiating with the town to rent 488 Tonsas Hill Road if it's connected. And 488 Tonsas Hill Road, we hope to lease from the town and build a new facility. And we hope to close the purchase on St. Michael's so that we can have parking for the new facility. An issue that we have is the corner lot. We did try to purchase that more than once, but we can't negotiate with that owner. And so we're working around that. A future hope would be that eventually we would acquire that, which would just make the block better and cleaner. But right now he's not willing to negotiate. So we have entered into a purchase and sale agreement for the property in the back. And we recognize and understand full well that the church has a historic designation, and we hope to keep the church, but we do want to take the very poorly poor condition addition out.
Let me bring up some pictures.
And so that line,
So this area,
yeah, that, right,
Yeah, but-
to the right.
let's.
That's the
bring
part you're
some-
taking down.
We would never touch the church. Church is an old stone, beautiful.
Yeah, let me bring some pictures so that everyone is on the same page.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything appropriate for you, but you did.
So this is the church.
And so this is Old Stratfield, and then that is Ridgely. So, and then Tonsas Hill's on all the way to the right.
And let's go to this side. So the church is here in the front. And then let's see more dates. So this is, it's really hard to see.
It is, it's tough.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, taking the light is good. There you go.
So you have, the church goes all the way up to here. And then as we go back,
Is it a brick?
it's a brick structure.
It's like a cinder block.
It's cinder
Yeah,
block on the
and
first
then
floor.
it's got like a,
So the church itself was built in 1922, and the addition was built around 1960.
Yeah, there's not many pictures, but here.
a little, oh, you can see a little bit there.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Right
So
there.
you said that, so
There it
the
is.
That's it.
part stays, the cinder block comes down.
Yeah, that addition is in poor condition, and it's also filled with asbestos and lead. So we're gonna remediate all that.
Okay.
But the church is beautiful, and we accept that that should remain, and we actually have contemplated some uses for it that fit with our mission. But we would use the rest for parking as much as would be allowed.
How will you close off the side that is open to where the addition?
The actual wall is still there.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah, we were just there. The actual stones are all still there.
Yeah.
It's
So-
really very interesting.
So is there a doorway that allows communication between the two, or how does it?
Yeah.
Not really?
There's like a hallway that's sort of built right on the back that leads to one part of an addition, and then there's a whole other addition. It's just kind of oddly, have you ever been? there?
Figured, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
So-
an oddly configured.
So
building.
taking down the addition would have minimal impact on the actual church.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
It looks like it would be easier than we thought it would be. So.
We asked that question too, because they do put up against each other.
They do.
Apparently, people in the know said, no, this is not a problem.
Okay.
The annex down and keep the church intact, so
Okay.
that's.
Right. And we did have an,
Us as well.
historical architecture person with us just to take a look at it. And he didn't think it was a problem. And also agreed, the church is it's a
It is.
beautiful
It
church.
is.
It's lovely if you haven't been there.
So what were the two different buildings in the first picture?
Oh, in the,
I think it's.
In our-
the same-
So it's part of
In our
the same
survey?
church,
part of the
so,
Church.
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
hold on, let me,
Yeah, it looks like an L shaped or something.
yeah, it's like, it's kind of an L, it's an L shape.
Is the plan to build something to replace what's there, or are you just taking it down?
Oh, no, we won't, yeah, we just need parking.
Or just
Yep,
parking?
we're just gonna clear everything. There's a lot of weird fences and we're gonna clear it all and make it.
Trees and.
Right. the other-
So,
yeah.
you want me to point?
Yes,
Yeah, Where we're.
here, do you want,
Knock that down.
Oh,
It's back to music.
Got it.
thank you. So this is, okay, this is Tungus, this is Old Stratfield. This is the front of the church, the pretty front that you see. And then this goes around like this. This is the church. And then
Stays intact.
this is the addition. And because we serve a lot of people, we need a lot of parking. We were always interested in this when we started talking to the town about this property, but there's only so much parking that could be put there. But with a combined space and following all the regulations, we'll have much more parking here. And it also creates some, like ways for us to get product in and out, like for our food pantry and just some other usefulness of, because this is very not useful because we have to build a whole, we're happy to have it, but it doesn't give us access the way we need. So, so the church could possibly become, I don't know how many of you are familiar with how we operate, but in our parking lot right now, we have a couple of pods for when people are dropping off groceries and we're not open, or just they're having a food drive or something, and then we move it in, sort it, and get it into the food pantry. So this could become a place for dropping off of food, and then we could have staff inside here that are doing the sorting and just bring it over to the main building, to the pantry as we need it, which we spoke to the church about during our negotiations as, an extension of your faith anyway, but we should be feeding the hungry. So it all works out really nicely, and it's a beautiful building. And when you walk inside of it, you feel really good. Someone had questioned if we could use it for dining because we still have the community kitchen, but it's not big enough. And I wouldn't want to touch it in any way, except to just clear it out what we could. So this space here, we would probably just put some parking right here too, like 4 spaces or whatever that can hold. And then that's the only thing that we want to do. And we do respect and want to preserve the church.
So the historic, this is all of this is in historic district? Just, it's a property.
It's the property.
It's not
is historic.
Yeah.
This district right now is a multi-zone.
This is historic a couple years ago.
about 4 years.
4 years
Yeah.
ago, we put this in.
Oh, you did, okay.
It's a beautiful church.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it,
remember going through it.
it's very lovely. I mean, it needs a little spiffing up a little bit, but I mean, the actual sanctuary part is chapel or whatever they call it is beautiful. And even the pews that are in there are in perfect condition. And the stained glass, the Episcopal diocese doesn't want that stained glass, and it's gorgeous.
You're not
So,
taking.
You don't want it?
No.
You're not, you're gonna take it out and leave it.
Have you,
we'll probably,
have you
probably,
guys seen the historic report that we did for that church?
we have not seen.
That would be part of.
I'll
the
share
church.
that with
All
you.
right, I would appreciate
Well,
it.
it would be part of historic, it'd be part of historic district's, purview to make sure it stays, unless change.
Right. I don't know. When we were there, the only thing that the architect said, who had some experience with the building also, was that those windows were put in sometime later and he wasn't sure if they were considered historic. But if you only did this 4 years ago, then it is.
Yeah.
And what are you contemplating for the creation of parking lots,
Um,
parking spaces?
how many?
What is, how's it
You've
gonna
got a huge space.
So from whatever the setback would be from that dotted line, the green dot, this,
Yep,
all the way over here, this is already a parking lot, but it's in bad shape. This would all be parking and there would be an egress and
just
stuff
asphalt
like
or?
this. Well, I think just
That
asphalt.
would all be one lot, yeah, right?
This would be one lot.
I mean, all of it, including the church.
One part.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the setback isn't really an issue.
And the other thing is, that right now, this is multi-zoned. It's just a strange piece of property. You may have found that out, right? So that's going to change because this whole block on both sides of the street will become a commercially zoned instead of neighborhood district, commercial and neighborhood business district, commercial and residential.
So that corner lot is commercial, but
This one will become, this one here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will become commercial, yeah.
what is it now?
Right now, it's just a single family house with business use. He rents out like rooms for like a insurance agent, there's a audiologist and a social worker that have little offices in there. But this would be, if only we could have made this deal, we could have had the entrance here. Instead of, what we'll probably have to do is build a raised building and park underneath because there's no other way to access the building. But we need the parking anyway, so. So anyway, that's basically just where we are. And we know that we need to speak to you, but we didn't come earlier because we weren't sure that that was going to come together.
So the one thing I would say, because the study report was only done about 4 years ago, is that if you're amenable,
Mhm.
that we go in, just document the building. It doesn't have to be a high level document, just, a few pictures,
Yes.
just to document what's there. And then write like a page summary of just why it's coming down and that it was,
Yep.
when you come to commission, however we vote, if you vote to allow you to take that down, we just put a little amendment in, just for documentation purposes.
Yeah, sounds good.
If you're amenable.
Oh, yeah, I want you to be comfortable with what we're doing. You should
Yeah.
see, and you
I
can
would
see
love
it
to
anyway
see it.
because it's beautiful. If you
Yeah,
haven't
I'd love
seen
to
it,
see
it's a pleasure to walk through it.
Yeah.
It's quite beautiful.
We saw one with Virginia. I don't know if you went on the site tour, but we went on a site tour with the first in HCC.
Can I
It's like one
Ah,
of the
it's- it-
other-
Yeah.
I didn't even know it really existed, although I've driven by it a
I
million
don't
times.
think anybody.
And then when I finally realized, oh, yeah,
Yeah, it's
Trees.
Well,
The same
plus
options
issue-
are beautiful.
plus issue.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
man, there's so much going on.
And the idols are
But
really cool.
The idols are amazing. They took some of that back because that belonged to the Romanian church that was
Yeah.
renting the space.
I was
but
about to say.
You know, that big altar piece is still there. They didn't take that with them. So I don't think they want it because they took everything else. And it's quite beautiful. I mean, I'm surprised somebody would want it.
Took all the feuds and everything.
Don't they let
Yeah,
them?
you'll see in the picture.
Because they were just renters, so they just took their own things back. They took like their Romanian icons, which were gorgeous. But they didn't take anything else.
That would be a great sale.
Upstairs?
That would be a great sale opportunity for you.
It would be if we can, like the pews are in,
Absolutely.
weren't they in beautiful
Very
condition,
hard to
Jack?
Have no issue.
Very hard to sell views.
Yeah, they love the wood.
I've worked with some other churches that can sell.
Really? Well, maybe I'll put them in my dining room.
Oh, there you go.
Another
Perfect.
when we put our dining room.
Maybe around the perimeter.
That's how
Yeah.
one of my churches is
Yeah,
using
they
it.
use-
as
Oh, yeah.
Seating.
We could definitely figure out.
Salvage guys in New Hampshire. Yeah.
So the only other
That's a lot
alternative
of
use, I should tell you, just in case.
Let's listen.
Well,
Okay,
Sorry.
so the alternative use for the building would be if for some reason we don't need this drop off and loading, I think it would be like private meeting space and also like meditation space for our clients. I mean, I would love if I could do that, but I think I need it for the other space.
Sorry, I missed that. So
Like-
the church, if you. So if you're not using it for the food
Right,
distribution.
then I think it would be
Meditation. and
meditation
other-
space and other meeting and programmatic
Programmatic
things,
spaces.
but just, on
Not that we
on a
have
lower
perfect
scale.
over how you
No.
Right,
use
but
it.
just so you can
Um,
picture what would happen there. So there's not gonna be any kind of like commerce or any kind of, anything elaborate going on.
That's beyond our jurisdiction
Yeah.
anyway, but,
Yeah.
that's.
But
That's my project.
it won't like. But it won't affect the building, we're not gonna be putting any kind of crazy lighting in there or anything like that, or destroying the outside.
Thanks.
So that's all, it's a relatively small project except for the high price tag that we have to raise, but we'll figure that out.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
Other than what we've discussed? Go ahead, Jim.
If
On the drawing, I see three gray areas. The one on top says existing church. And that confuses me. As I understand it, on this
So-
drawing, the church is the gray thing on the lower right.
So you see where my cursor is?
Yes,
That is the church.
now I'm really confused. I thought the existing church was the,
This is a house.
He's talking about the lower right, which is on Tuxas Hill Road, which is the old DOT building.
This is the DOT building.
okay.
And to the
So
right of that
where is the
a bar.
parking lot gonna go on this?
Right here. Do you see where the cursor is right now?
But you're saying that's the church.
The front part, it's the church. Up to that blue line.
Oh, I see, okay. So to
This
the
is an
right of the
addition.
blue line,
Yes,
Is
that's an addition.
That was put on in nineteen
The
sixty.
white block edition.
And it's a eyesore and
It was used
Unsafe.
for classrooms.
you'll see when you go visit.
Okay,
so the increased parking will be the area to the right of that green line.
correct.
Okay. And nothing's gonna happen to the other two buildings.
This
They're,
is
they're gonna stay the way
new.
they are.
Yeah, this is new. This will be a proposed new, but it's outside of our purview because
Okay,
it is not part of the historic structure, which
Right,
is
right.
a locally designated historic structure. That's it.
okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Rosina, good.
No problem. Anyone else?
I did have a question and now it escapes me, so it doesn't, I guess it wasn't that important.
Is there anything that you guys might need from us?
So when you come, no, I was thinking about when you come for a COA, one of the things that I would really love, just because it helps me and I'm sure other people on the commission kind of contextualize this, is pictures from the roadway of all the different sides.
The whole streetscape, which is
Yeah.
part of the application requirement.
Yeah, but we don't always.
Yeah.
We don't need pictures of the inside. And one of the things where the building does attach in a few places, any kind of discussion about if there is any, problems with the mortar or, anchors or whatever, any discussion of anything that would need to be repaired, just,
Included.
include it, even if it's a repair in kind or
I mean, on the church.
on the church.
Correct.
Yeah, on this.
Yeah, on the
So you're,
historic.
we don't know.
But
Sure.
I
Yeah.
need to know if you're gonna put air conditioning units, signage.
Oh, yeah. Is there air conditioning in there already?
Don't remember.
I don't either, but
I don't remember, but the one thing that will come up is
Yeah, I
lighting.
would think that-
lighting.
If you're gonna light the parking lot in any way.
Oh, yeah, we are. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to because
So
it's dark over
lighting,
there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, although this is an isolated location. I think pre and post pictures, I proposed and what's existing, what's proposed.
Right.
Those are the two really critical.
So, I'm somewhat familiar with signage because I renovated this property across the street and it took us a long time to get a sign.
Yep.
So if you would be so kind as to advise us when the time comes of what you need instead of making me come back for 8 years and guess until I find.
So that's why we're doing pre-applications.
Yeah.
So at the same time, when you are
Yeah.
ready, if you guys need to do a pre-application with the proposed,
Right,
so that we all are familiar with it and can
and then you can tell me then, right?
tell you
what I-
things that might or might not work. So,
Is
We
there
can do that.
existing signage for the church?
There is, I don't know, I think you can see it in the picture.
Sorry, I didn't have time to drive
Yeah,
by it.
no, I'm just thinking, I think when I Google the property, just Google it, I think it comes up. So let me just try that.
Pretty sure it's on Old Stratford. I live on the side of town, so.
It definitely is.
One thing to remember is
It's right here.
Oldwood
Yeah, it's
seems
this.
to be a
It's right there.
sticky point.
What is that again?
Oldwood,
Oh, I know, that's what I have across the street. I know how to do it now.
Oldwood from metal.
Yeah.
Painted metal or all wood.
So they have a sign right in front of the window
Yes.
and they have
Okay.
this other thing.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There's another sign too.
This
Yeah.
one,
That one over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's similar to what you had.
what you guys have here, yeah.
Do I have to leave that sign?
The red one
The mouse sign? It just tells them when the services are.
No, but if you're gonna take it out, put it in
in the,
the application.
Removal of.
I mean, I might use it because I could probably say, enter here for whatever,
You
whatever.
could have little announcements on there.
Yeah.
But if you're like painting it, that's not a regulated activity, so you could paint it.
Okay.
Pink with polka dots if you wanted.
Like accepting donations, not accepting donations.
Right, but today or whatever, like whatever.
Where to drop them off.
Are you gonna keep the bell tower?
Yeah, I think we have to.
yes.
Yeah, it's nice.
Part of the-
It's
Yeah.
part of-
Yeah, the archways and everything.
It's a very pretty building, you know,
Yeah.
so
It's beautiful.
we didn't expect to take it down ever. I mean, we just,
Then those walk.
Philadelphia like, if you will,
Right.
from the Episcopalian.
Yeah.
that's,
This is concrete.
that's concrete.
All about
And
keeping it intact.
Yeah.
I think the other one is concrete too. It's a little broken, the other side.
All right, well, if you decide to repair that, that's a repair kind unless you're
Yeah.
changing the material.
There seems some asphalt in there already.
Do I have to keep this
Right
fence?
here.
This-
If you take down the fence, just put it in the application.
Yes,
Or you
But if-
want to take down the fence, put it in the application.
But if you replace it, then you need to talk to, like, be careful.
Okay.
You can't put a plastic fence up.
No.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That would be a regulated activity. You'd have to come with
Correct.
this through.
I think I'm gonna-
No. It's really nice.
Unless it's falling down.
Well, we don't know, right? So I'm just wondering what the.
so as much
We are getting
information,
playground.
as much information as your architect can put in the documents, that will be the best.
Okay.
So,
That makes sense.
Has there been any letters for the acquisition that came up during the acquisition from any neighbors?
There hasn't been, we initially started talking about this property like 5 years ago and then it kind of went on hold, right? So at that time, we kind of went out and talked to the neighbors and we talked to the RTM members to try to make sure that people felt good about it and understood that it would actually be better than what you have now, which is a derelict building and, you know, a empty church with a weird addition. And it was well received, but I think it's time for us to do it again. We're still, the sale is still, you know, pending some due diligence. This is part of it. But once we know that it's going through or when it's getting close, I think we probably should have like an informal charrette maybe where we invite people to come in and hear about it.
and we had to reach to all the neighbors when we did the report and when we designated the property.
Yeah, so we'll go back. I mean, they might be different.
How do you reach the neighbors? By mail?
I found all the addresses and the names through the GIS. And I believe we
The
just.
GIS?
Have to,
Yeah.
Fairfield GIS
by
map.
statute, you have to email, you have to mail them.
But you have to mail them, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
All right, yeah, definitely.
I have to say, guys, it's an impressive, like you said, that you're preserving this by doing something that's gonna benefit the community.
We really want to be, you know, we want to be good neighbors and I honestly think that our presence there improves the neighborhood. Definitely on the other side.
Yeah.
If only I could find a car wash.
Yeah, it should be.
It is-
You're doing a good deed.
Like, I wouldn't want to walk in again. Built, the roof is falling. Sure.
Oh, yeah, it's deplorable, really, and
Yeah.
dangerous and an eyesore.
Wow.
And that's beautiful compared to what it looks like. This picture is.
I know it. does make it-
The
Oh, yes,
building
hold
is
on.
in extreme disrepair.
Right there.
Is it still used?
No, it hasn't been.
No,
used
it
for a long
hasn't been
time.
used.
Oh, so here we can see the addition. Oops.
Oh, yeah, you can get, that's what I wanted you to see. You can really see the quality of it.
So here you can see the addition.
Jim is,
That's beautiful.
Jim, can
compared
you
to
see
what it looks
this?
like.
Oops.
That's the house.
Jim,
Okay.
man,
I mean,
if he could.
He had a great
Yeah.
deal with us,
There.
but
Yes.
didn't want to sell, so wanted to sell, but then he wanted like
See
$1
what
million
comes
for it. So
out.
that was a little rich for us. And we all praised him. 5:30 and we opened 7:50.
So how many square footage is the
It
acquisition?
still wasn't good.
How much square footage is the whole acquisition? You're done between the church and the building?
I don't know the size of the church, but I think what we're building is 20,000 square feet approximately. It's gonna be 2 floors. Because we're consolidating all our stuff.
Yeah, I was just trying to, you understood what the whole.
So you won't be across the street? You're just moving.
Just
everything.
moving everything.
Yeah.
The Great Famine Museum is gonna come into this building.
Oh,
So we have to get out. And 50 Nickel Street the town's long wanted to take that back, so we're trying to do it right there.
So
We
the
consolidate, it's better
the
anyway,
property,
in hundreds of ways.
0.66 acres. We're talking about the church now.
The church property?
Right.
66, so
Yes, and it says 12,186 square feet.
that's the building,
Yes,
but the plot,
the plot is 28,920.
so it's 75% of an acre. So
Right.
it's- Yeah, so it's like 30,000 feet, that's good. And then
Yeah.
you've got that, and then you've got the DOT building.
Right, I'm trying to see what,
Are there any other questions regarding the church or the locally designated property?
No.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Thank you
So-
for meeting with us.
thank you
yes, thank you.
for presenting, and let's just make a motion to adjourn.
sure.
Darren
So-
and Art. And just for the record, George got here shortly after Greg, so no problem.
A reading problem.
So
So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it is 4:42, just for the record.